Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Realm Recap. I am Jason from Yakface.com, and tonight we have a special co-host slash guest. Dan Curto is joining us.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Steven we'll just say he has the night off. He's in the midst of relocating his man cave and whole life, so we'll be together next week for sure. It just was a timing and scheduling thing for us this week, but the Fly Guy will be back next week for sure. So anyway, lots of things have happened since our last show.
I will try to do him proud.
You'll do just fine, I'm sure. Our last show was right before, I guess it was before 4th of July, and you can imagine in 2.5 weeks of news has come out since then, and it also happens to be 2.5 weeks worth of news prior to San Diego Comic-Con, so
yes.
Of course it's just chock full of news, leaks, spoilers, all sorts of good stuff. So
well, this is always an exciting time of year because you never know what's real and what's not real when it comes to the rumor lists. And then you start seeing some new pictures and stuff, and it's like, oh, I guess that was true. That's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, and then people, sometimes that happens, and then, San Diego Comic-Con comes around, and not everything is shown that we've seen in the lead up to that. It's like they hold stuff back typically. I think this is going to be a different kind of Comic-Con, just by what they have said since, at Toy Fair, they said this was going to be a big San Diego Comic-Con for Hasbro.
Right.
So, and it looks like that's panning out. I mean, there's just been so many, leaks and, official announcements even that have come out since then. I think that how we're going to do the news this week is we're just going to kind of go in reverse order chronologically with what came out news-wise leading up to the most recent news, and we're going to just kind of break it out by manufacturer. So we're going to first start off with all the Hasbro news. Right before not New Year's, but Independence Day, StarWars.com, I believe, were they the first to announce that the Walgreens rumor was true?
Yeah, they officially announced it and showed photos of it, but it had been leaked prior, and I think it was Star Wars Action News had posted a rumor report from Walgreens computer.
Yep.
The prototype Boba Fett, so the white armor of the Super Commando, as he was originally thought and conceived to be, that's coming out exclusive to Walgreens stores, which I kind of found interesting.
Right. There was kind of I'm trying to think. There's a few different exclusives are going to happen at San Diego Comic-Con regarding Walgreens, and there's going to be some different ordering procedures, I guess. And I think a deal had leaked out regarding My Little Ponies, of all things. That there's going to be like a QR code type of ordering system. Like if you're at San Diego Comic-Con, you're getting first crack at access to this QR code that's going to let you pre-order this Boba Fett, I think, first. So that's not official or anything, but it's My Little Pony's a Hasbro property. I don't assume it's going to be probably any different than that.
Right, and for Marvel fans, there's also an Agent Venom 6-inch Marvel Legends figure that's coming exclusive to Walgreens, and we saw that on display at San Diego. I think it was last year as like a potential upcoming figure that. Right. Now we know where it's coming.
Yeah, and I guess we're going to kind of jump forward here too. Is that those exclusives have actually hit the Walgreens website now? Let's see. We'll try to pop this one up here quick.
And that was today, wasn't it? That was found.
Yeah, I think so. I had heard that had hit. Where's my screen here? We'll share this one.
As part of the reveal, the Walgreens page has boxed images and a new loose photo of the white-clad Boba Fett.
Right. I can't seem to pull it up here. Let's try this. Here we go. So this is Walgreens website, and you can see it's got a new loose shot that we haven't seen yet, and then there's a boxed image. Again, it's the blue and black new redesigned packaging. I was kind of hoping for the white one, to be honest, and the minimal white box. Kind of like how I kind of worked up for my prototype one that I bought off eBay. But no, this is cool. I'm liking the look of this, and in essence, it's a straight repaint of the figure, and the weapons look, it's all the same, just black versions of the weapons that we had received before. So
now, do we know if the cape has the Star Wars towel?
I don't think it does. I think it's just a plain. I think it's got a stripe on it, like a gray stripe.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's what the original, solicitation image from Star Wars.com.
1999, because that's the normal price, and from the Walgreens stores that I've been into, they tend to be a little bit higher than normal retail.
Right. Yeah, basic Star Wars figures are $14.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll
instead
be
of $9.99, they're like $14.99. It's crazy.
So I think Walgreens has really stepped up. Where they're kind of filling the spot that Walmart kind of held for a long time with exclusives. They haven't had a Star Wars exclusive for I don't know how long.
Right.
So, moving on to the next bit of Star Wars.
Discover the Force, which, by the way, is
they're still there.
They're still in there. The 3D glasses on the packaging, those are still in stores. I was in New Jersey over the past weekend and stopped in a Walmart near there, and I said, wow, I cannot believe there's like 3 pegs full of the 3D Discover the Force Phantom Menace figures. I was blown away.
Yeah, my Walmart has those. My Walmart has those as well, but all of the 3D glasses have been torn off.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't think they, when they reconfigure the pegs, that sometimes they're trying to make up, some, a row here and there, and I think they just trimmed them off or tore them off in order to be able to get their pegs squeezed in there. But
well, I don't think those are ever going to sell because they're $9.99 or whatever the price originally was, and they're $5 at Five Below. And they're just sitting there too, so I don't think anybody necessarily wants those figures. So
right,
it's going to be a challenge.
Let's see. The next bit of news was online retailer Andrews Toyz had posted a loose and carded shot of what is now called Brock Starsher. For a long time, it was thought that this was Sergeant Dwalin.
A very popular character in the fan voting community, but quite controversial as to exactly what the character looked like.
Right.
So this was possibly it, and now it doesn't matter, right?
Right. We still need Sergeant Dwalin if that's what you're looking for. But no, this is also a little bit different too than the was originally solicited at Toy Fair, I believe, where he's shown with 2 blasters. Yeah. This one, the carded and loose shot, he doesn't have either of the blasters shown, and he has like the regular Force Pike and Jabba Goon blaster that we've received before with other figures.
So he's one of the last figures on the Black Series, Black and Orange design, which I found interesting because I thought that was going to be one of the first figures that we got on the TIE Fighter pilot head, but I guess not.
Right, because that's kind of how he was shown. He was shown with that whole group of figures. The Luke, the Hoth Luke, Reese, however you choose. So it's kind of weird that this is going to be one of the last figures on that card, and that I don't know if this one falls into that category of figures that can be ordered in multiples. Like how some online shops, specialty shops, can case pack or order full case packs of certain figures. I think the reason I bring that up is because, there's always like the last wave syndrome that we've all gone through for
Oh, yeah.
years. When they're switching over between line looks, it's usually not as big of a deal now since, stores like Target and probably Walmart, carry over their, like Target carries over its DCPI for years on end, it seems like now, with, the vintage collection
Yeah,
translated
this is
into.
still the vintage collection DPCI at Target.
Right. So.
If you can find these at Target, which you usually can't. I've actually seen the Black Series more at my local grocery store called Wegmans than I have anywhere else around me.
Yeah. Yeah, Black Series have been pretty light around in my area too. I think one of my Targets here has like 6 or 7 of the Luminara
Yep.
undulies, and that's about it for the most recent figure. So.
I mean, whatever you want to call this figure, you got to admit that looks pretty sweet. That's a really nice sculpt, decent deco. I mean, for what it is, there's not a lot of paint applications on it.
Right.
But I mean, for generic Jabba's Skiff Guard, I guess they're calling it now. Because that was an expanded universe name, and now that the expanded universe has gone away, I guess they don't want to give it any EU names.
Right. And I think the whole Brock Starsher name is a more recent development anyway, and I think people are going to say who. I think Jabba Skiff Guard is so generic that it's easier to army build a generically named guy, let's say, than you're buying a John Smith. It's like, oh, I've got John Smith already.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this helmet, at any rate, seen on the outfit of the character that we now know as Bane Millar that was released in the Legacy Collection?
I think so.
Because Bane Millar, that helmet was based on a Decipher card artwork that was totally made up by the artists over at Decipher back in the day.
Right.
But the outfit was this dude's helmet.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's from what I recall from the whole Sergeant. Who is Sergeant Do'Allen? And this is the helmet of the character, but that's not the right outfit.
Right.
So, I don't know. Whatever. This looks cool. Buy multiples.
Buy one.
Mix and match. You're good.
Yep. Let's see. Our next little bit here, let me pull my notes, is...
They also had Ree-Yee's carded as well.
Right, yeah. Yep. The next bit of info gets into a bunch of spoilery type stuff that was probably hoped to be saved for San Diego Comic-Con. I think Hasbro would probably, I'm sure they just love it when these big figure lists come out and spoil all their fun. But
I have a little bit of a history with that particular.
Let's see, Jedi Temple Archives. At first they teased a list of, not a list, but a general statement saying that there's going to be about 18 new figures coming out, saying that they're all new sculpts, never before kind of release type of deal. And then, I think it was just a couple days later, if not the same day, our sponsor, Dorkside Toys, had posted, an official list of what those figures were. Not all 18, but some of the 18. I don't have that list pulled up here. Let's see.
Right. But, I mean, some of this information, we kind of were told at Toy Fair that there was going to be a very large first wave. We didn't know any of the characters, obviously, but we saw a couple, like we just mentioned, Sergeant Do'Allen, Ree-Yee's, Luke Skywalker in Hoth outfit, but in a Wampa battle damage, if you will. And then the astromech droid, which I can't remember his name, it was an R5 unit.
Right. Was it R5G19 or something like that?
Probably.
Something like that.
Because he's on this new list now.
Right. Trying to find, where did I put that list? Here we go. Boom, boom, boom.
So, I mean, you're going to call up the list in a second, but I want to say this when I read this list and saw as it developed over a couple of days, because then more names were added to it
Right.
afterwards, and it was very funny because I used to maintain a rumor list back when I was on another site, if you will. And this is a lot of characters that have been rumored for a long time, and they were in Hasbro's fabled parking lot, if you will.
Right.
I really feel that they're clearing out their parking lot.
Yeah, it's like their last shot to get these figures out before Episode 7. So here's a list that both Jedi Temple Archives and Bantha Skull had posted. R5G19 is basically it's the home one astromech. It's the white and kind of maroon colored one. Darth Vader Yoda's test. Obviously, that's a spirit type Vader.
That one's funny to me because years ago, back when I was on Rebel Scum, I had posted a rumor that I had knew of a Vader, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader type of figure, right? So I figured it was Dagobah Darth Vader. Well, what I didn't reveal at the time is that was straight out of Walmart's computer.
Oh, really?
So Walmart was getting this figure as I don't know if it was an exclusive or what, but it was a brand new name. And then obviously those plans had changed, but it never surfaced, so people thought that I was lying. Well, I'm not lying. Here he's coming out. So
what else? We've got Luke Skywalker Wampa Attack, which we have seen most recently posted by Stephen Hayford.
Yes.
Yeah, he got a nice big goodie box from Hasbro, the jerk. He got a whole box. He got like 7 of the Jabba the Hutt figure, not the exclusive one, not the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive one, but got a few of those and speeder bikes and half a dozen of the Lukes, Torn Far, bunch of good stuff.
But the Luke was the brand new TIE Fighter cards.
Yes. So we'll have a link to that in our show. Otherwise, you could go to the front page of Yakface.com or wherever. I'm sure everyone's pretty much running it now. Let's see. A couple other figures on this list are some carry forward / repacks from the vintage collection. Darth Malgus, which I think a lot of people are still trying to get.
Great figure.
So that's good for those folks that still need that. Star Killer is a big one. That thing commands a pretty decent price on eBay right now because it was part of that last wave that was online only, right?
I don't think so. I think he came out the wave before.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I'd given up on retail finds at that point.
A lot of those waves, the last like 2 or 3 waves of the vintage collection was difficult to track down anyway. But Darth Malgus in particular, that wave showed up at Five Below in a big wheelbarrow.
Right. I remember you posting.
Yeah.
A huge
that
find.
was kind of crazy. Just walked in. I'm like, what am I looking at? You never see anything like this. Gamorrean guards and Darth Malgus, Imperial Navy. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Let's see. Princess Leia Organa in the Bouche disguise.
That was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the last one that we got was in the Saga collection. And that was a great figure back then. I'm not sure what they could do to improve it, really.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but she had swivel elbows.
Yep.
So maybe they would change those to the ball-hinged elbows. I don't know. That one I think is kind of weird because, I mean, wasn't Princess Leia in like either her ceremony outfit or her regular A New Hope dress? That's been rumored for quite some time.
Yep.
So this one, kind of strange, except, as you're going to say, there's another counterpart to that, so I guess it does make sense.
Right. Captain Rex is on the list. That was shown. It's been about a year now, hasn't since the first time that realistic version was shown.
Mm-hmm.
So that's slated for this 18 figure assortment. Imperial Navy Commander. I don't know. This figure, obviously, you mentioned that was one of those that turned up at Five Below. There speculation that it's going to be a gray, repaint as kind of a throwback to the vintage.
The Death Squad Commander.
Right.
I
I don't
think it
know.
will be.
That would be nice. That would
Yeah.
be
Because
a
that
first,
was
wouldn't it?
planned as a repainted figure several years ago. That it eventually didn't go through, and the what was it? The Death Star gunner, but it was the video game version was stuck in its place.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know anybody that might have had a hand in that wave, but I'm just saying that was
Hmm.
little
Um,
little insider info for you, Jason.
what was? Let's see.
It was
Yeah.
the Battlefront 2
Right.
Imperial Gunner, and then it had a holographic Dooku. It came with
That's right.
Rey, Coruscant Trooper. Trying to think, a couple of repacks of the Jedi, which was kind of weird. I didn't really like those. And then a couple other figures. So whenever there's a repaint wave, those are always, I think, kind of fun. But they haven't done them in recent years.
I love that Imperial Gunner though. That was a great
Yeah, they
figure
just
with the
made them
removable
gray.
armor and
Pretty much it, yeah.
yeah, that was a great figure.
And it was a nice counterpart because they had done a Rebel version from Battlefront 2 a few years earlier in the 30th anniversary collection.
Right.
So,
Let's see. Commander Wolf is on this list. A nice, realistic version of Commander Wolf would
right.
very popular with, both the Clone Wars fans and the realistic fans that want realistic versions of Clone Wars characters.
Yeah. Now this was shown at Toy Fair. Remember they had the two clones. We didn't know who they were because they went by really quick.
Yeah.
But somebody snuck a picture of that screen.
Right. I saw that, and that people were trying to figure out who the heck they were for the longest time.
Right.
It wasn't. Wolf was the easiest one to figure out because his markings are so distinctive that you could pick him out, but no one knew the one that we'll come to here, the Commander Doom,
Right.
because we hadn't seen the final series or season of Clone Wars yet, and so yeah, that'll be a good one. The Commander Wolf.
Doom is based on, of course, Doctor Doom from the
Dr.
Marvel.
Doom.
So that's kind of fun.
C-3PO is on this list. Don't know. There's nothing really to go by for that.
I suspect it'll be a gold C-3PO using the Build-A-Figure body because I don't believe that they've ever done one of those yet.
Nope.
And it's overdue, and this would be the time to do it.
Yep. Throw a cargo net in there for good measure.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Would.
Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars.
That baffles me.
Yeah.
I gotta admit.
Because I don't know if that's a repack of the vintage collection one or if it's a realistic version of the Clone Wars cartoon, without all the extra armor.
Right.
It just seems like another Anakin to me. If it's a realistic version of the Clone Wars version without the armor, it would just be Anakin from the movie, I guess.
I know, and they've already released that one, so that's kind of weird. I thought maybe they would do like one of the ones from the Tartakovsky micro series, but then I remembered they did that one already.
Right.
So
yeah, they
I'm
had a
not
couple
sure.
of those too, didn't they?
What's that?
They had a couple of the Tartakovsky
Yes.
versions, like a shirtless one with the weird blue slug tattoo stripe things on him.
Tattoos, markings, whatever they were.
Yeah. Let's see. Next figure was Commander Thorn, which is another Marvel hat tip, basically as a nod to Thor, because I think Dave Filoni announced that not the figure, but the character itself, because because Avengers did so well at theaters.
Yep.
So, let's see. The next one is.
There's been some great. I don't know if you've seen this, but great crossover artwork of the Marvel characters on Clone Trooper armor.
Right.
And it's just sort of fan made, but I always kind of enjoyed those because I thought that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, there's cool Iron Man and Captain America. And
Wolverine, Venom, Spider-Man, yeah, pretty much all the main big guys. Although nowadays, I don't know, I don't recognize anybody from Marvel anymore. Seems like they're changing everyone just for the heck of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, for the whole Marvel now.
Yeah.
Mosep Benid.
Yes.
It's been a long requested figure. On most
Almost made it
families.
a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is the alien that was originally used by artist Howard Chaykin as a stand-in for Jabba the Hutt in the Marvel Comics adaptation, because they didn't know what Jabba the Hutt was going to look like, so he just picked one random alien, and they used that character, which we now know as Mosep Benid, but that was Jabba the Hutt with one T.
One T.
And it was planned, believe it or not, years ago to be part of a comic pack with Han Solo.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
And they didn't go through with that because the comic packs sort of became not very popular. And then later on, they would have released it as a regular Mosep figure.
I can't imagine why, with all of those Leia comic packs that they had. Weren't there like 3 or 4 different Leia comic packs all at the same time?
Yeah, especially that Shadows of the Empire one. That was a strange one with her big fat cankles.
Yeah. With her jazzercise, leotard on or whatever it was.
I did like the one that was the Infinites Leia that had sort of a cross between a Hoth outfit and a Jedi outfit, and then she came with I think it was the Macquarie-esque Darth Vader with the Batman cape.
Right. Yeah,
that was kind of a fun set, really.
Yeah. Man, those were good sets.
I miss the comic packs, man.
I know
they were awesome.
They were fun. Chewbacca is on this list. Basically, it's probably going to be the Bush's prisoner version, so he'll have a chain around his neck.
Which explains why they would release that Leia figure again.
Right. We mentioned this one already. Commander Doom. This is the silver and green version that kind of looks like a cross between, Commander Cody and, Captain Rex.
He's part of Jedi Master Tipli and Tiplar's forces from the Order 66 arc.
Right. That's the first arc in the Lost episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Rebel Fleet Trooper. They're saying now that this is the Yavin Metal Bearer figure that was revealed back, I guess it was a year ago, by Jedi Temple Archives.
Mm-hmm. Long time coming.
Long time coming. I'm not sure if it's going to be a hugely popular figure.
I don't know what a Rebel Metal Bearer looks like, honestly. But
right, it's it kind of reminds me of the back in the Indiana Jones 3 3/4 inch line, basically the green suited Nazis that you could buy.
Right.
Basically that simple.
Well, remember they made the honor guards?
Right. Those are fun figures.
I don't know, was it 2007 in that series? That was I guess a popular figure. I don't know.
I bought a bunch of those like for $1, I think.
I think Derek's going to be extremely happy since it's him.
Right.
He's been talking about that for years.
Yep. Dutch Vander.
Yeah. Another Dutch Vander. Is it like the third?
Right.
Gold leader. So probably I would imagine on the new body, but they've done a lot of X-Wing pilots recently. So.
Yep. And then the last one on this list is the Princess Leia in A New Hope outfit, whether that's her regular white, dress deal or the ceremonial. Most likely the ceremonial, they're saying. So.
Yeah,
which would be nice.
They've done Han recently and Luke recently, so now it's time for Leia. At some point, they should make Chewbacca so that he could have his medal too.
Right.
And use the MTV Movie Awards from '97 or whatever.
Oh, jeez.
Use that as reference.
So then, I think those were the 18 figures that were on this list, and then later on, 2 figures were added to it. I believe one of them was Yakface.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm spacing on the other one. Do you remember which one it was?
Well, there was Tiz Vizdit, which is the fly alien from the canteen.
Right.
I think Barada was another one, but like an updated version. Probably if you took Here, I just happen to have this guy here, Kithaba, and like
Right.
painted him to look like Barada.
Which everyone thinks that's Barada anyway.
Right, right. So it could be a simple kit bash with maybe a new chest or something to make it more. But the Barada figure that we've gotten a few times is, well, I guess he would fit in now, but 5 points articulation from Power of the Force 2 days from the 90s.
Mm,
So it's been a while, and he's way overdue for an upgrade. Seems like a simple one they could do to just add us another Skiff guard.
right.
We'll see if
Let's
those are
see.
true.
Yeah. Um, like I said, a lot of this stuff is expected or at least hoped for at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know if it'll all be revealed then or not, but because
Yeah.
there's still New York Comic-Con this year. I mean, it's granted it's not the biggest show, and they really don't do anything there. They have like their dinner or whatever they have prior to
They
the
did
actual
that
event.
last year, I remember, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see if
I
they.
think this year at San Diego especially is going to be a huge, huge push for Rebels. So there's going to be
Yep.
a lot of announcements, a lot of product reveals based around the TV show because the timing is right. And the show comes out, what, August?
Yeah, August, September
Yeah,
is what I'm
that's
hearing.
crazy.
Let's see. Next on the list is since that announcement came, like shortly thereafter, our sponsors at Dorkside Toys had put pre-orders up for some of those figure assortments. Let's see, I think the latest ones they have, there were some 6-inch figures that they added, which were Bosk, C-3PO, and Han Solo in Stormtrooper outfit. Personally, I'm looking forward to the Bosk and the C-3PO.
Bosk is one of my favorite figures that they've ever made. I think they always knock it out of the park whenever they
Yeah.
update that guy. So
They've never had a bad Bosk. Hasbro's never made a bad Bosk.
No.
Let's see who else is on. I think that's it for that. Next on the list was I caught this. I can't remember. I think I ran into this on Facebook somewhere, but supposedly there's a Jedi-Con exclusive figure coming out, and this is Jedi-Con. Where does this take place?
Germany, I think. Yep.
All right, let me share the screen here. Bam. Jedi-Con, Star Wars forever. Apparently, they're going to have the official reveal of this exclusive figure on July 28th on their website, and there's an image here. Pulling up here. This was published in a magazine, in an official Star Wars magazine for Germany, and it's they don't announce that it's C-3PO, but judging by that silhouette, it really can't be anything other than C-3PO. So I don't know exactly what that means, because obviously we know that C-3PO is going to be released here in the U.S., so either it's going to have an exclusive deco, an exclusive accessory, or it's just an exclusive box.
I think it's an exclusive box. That's what they usually do at these Jedi-Con shows.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be different packaging than what we would get in the U.S.
Right. Let's see. We'll cancel that. And then. This was revealed back again a couple weeks ago too by Yoda's News, but Hasbro made it official with the Walmart exclusive HMF. Used to be BMF, now it's HMF because it's the hero size Millennium Falcon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Hollow MF.
that works well. The hunk of blank Millennium Falcon. This is a $60 version of Millennium Falcon that doesn't do a whole lot. It's got, a rotating radar dish and some pivoting cannons.
Mm-hmm.
But it's intended for kids, not for the adult collector. I think I mean I wouldn't have killed for a Millennium Falcon like this when I was a kid.
Right. I mean,
A
the
Falcon
Millennium
of this
Falcon,
size.
I've often said this is the most iconic vehicle outside of possibly the Enterprise and maybe the TARDIS in
Right.
all of science fiction. So, I mean, everyone's going to be excited about the Millennium Falcon, but I just kind of wonder, is this the same sculpt that we've gotten for the BMF, or is this different in some way? And
It looks so similar.
I know.
It's hard to tell. Like there are obviously some flattened out panels and whatnot. There's some stickers, used to substitute for texture and sculpt in spots, but man, it looks pretty detailed. So we'll see. Next on the list was
And what is it, like $40? So it's
$60 now.
$60 now. Oh
Yeah,
wow!
I think was it the X-wing? Wasn't that $40?
I think so. Still pretty cool.
Yeah. Next on the list was the Star Wars Rebels Saga Legends. Yoda's News had broke this info. Let's see, back on the 15th. They had
This is the
posted.
first time we've seen carded photos of these figures.
Right. We had seen, obviously loose figures were on display at Toy Fair for most of these figures. Some of them are obviously carry forwards. But
I still can't believe that they didn't fix the eyes on that Luke Jedi.
I'm trying to think, the
Baffles.
robot chicken eyes that are.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they tighten those applications up a little bit. It's kind of bad, but I'm liking the look of the whole. I like the Rebels packaging. I'm liking I'm to be honest, I'm tired of the Vader lava, fire theme. We got that obviously back in the Revenge of the Sith days, and then it came back kind of for what was supposed to be the 3D release of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So, but it's going to be wall-to-wall Rebels until Episode 7 comes out. So,
the Yoda went really fast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was actually kind of nice, and having, I don't know, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth because we didn't get a lot of those figures here in the U.S.
No, we didn't get any of the Yoda carded loose figures.
Well, there was the vehicle packs.
Right.
Yeah, but they didn't have any of the basic figures. They just kind of jumped right into the Darth Vader look, which I didn't particularly care for, as you were just kind of saying too. And having the Rebels. What I found interesting is that the Rebels logo, we were told, would not be on the packaging for characters that don't appear in Rebels. Yet in these images, some clearly do. So I was wondering if they are going to appear in Rebels.
Right. I noticed that as well, and I think because I think it might have something to do with it just being a sample that we're being shown. It's not
right.
It's probably just a worked up image. Let me see if I can pull that back up. The figures that we're talking about specifically are the Darth Vader and the Snow Trooper. Both of those figures have the Star Wars Rebels at the top. Let me share my screen here quick. What is this?
Yeah.
That's not it.
Which is kind of weird because, again, you see those guys in The Empire Strikes Back, not in Star Wars Rebels. But now, I gotta wonder: is there a snow planet in Rebels, and will we see Vader and the Snow Trooper? That's I think a lot of people are going to be questioning that one.
Right.
Probably not. We don't really know right now, but
let me see. Where is that photo? Yeah, because I can't imagine. I fully suspect Vader is going to be in Star Wars Rebels at some point. whether it's
I would agree with that.
would be via hologram or actual a physical presence in the
Yeah.
series. But nothing that I've seen so far shows that he's in it. I picked up I received the Star Wars Rebels visual guide.
You did.
Yes, I do have that.
I was
And
just going to mention, Corey picked that up and did a great review on it.
yeah,
And, I can't wait to find it.
yeah, I
Which
got mine
means I
off
need to go
Amazon.
into the store and look for it, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Right. I can't get this. Isn't loading for some reason. No, there we go. Let's see. Let's share this quick. Not to hammer this to death or anything, but yeah, here's Vader. Obviously, it says Star Wars Rebels there, right under the main Star Wars logo at the top. And the same thing.
Now that figure is the same that we've gotten with the Seeker Droid and the Luke Skywalker on Bespin Alpha. So there's no changes to the figure itself, but
No.
I mean it's a Darth Vader figure, so that's always going to be in circulation.
Right. And then here's the Snowtrooper down here. Same thing. Star Wars Rebels. I don't think there are Snowtroopers in Rebels, but I could be wrong. And like with the original trilogy characters, they have a specific card insert that lists the reference to what source material they're from, where it says from Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Obviously, Vader's says that one says The Empire Strikes Back as well. Like the Inquisitor, it doesn't have any information below there because it's a Rebels character. So
Right.
that's why I'm tending to think it's just a poor reference image as far as it being an error in assembly. And there's also that nice little Disney logo on there now. If you've see that on.
I did see that. Now
Yeah.
we knew back in, well, when did we go? April? When we went to Disney, you and I went. We were there together, and we knew that this was happening.
Right.
There was going to be Disney logos on the Star Wars product going forward, because, well, that's what they told us. So
Right.
It's kind of interesting that in recent days, this week, people have sort of been complaining about that.
Right.
Because, well, did you not pay attention?
Right. Because I think the first time we really saw it was when they released the boxed image of that X-Wing that we were just talking about, that hero-size X-Wing. That Disney logo's on the top of that box, and then it's on the Rebels box, the Rebel style box for the Millennium Falcon that's coming out. Now it's on these carded images, and then as we'll get to in the next post here, the Cantina Showdown, the 6-inch Black Series release, has started to hit Canada, and let's see, where is that here?
I'm curious about this set because the Han Solo figure, when he was available by himself, came with Stormtrooper gun and belt. Does this set include that? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sharing some pictures that Rebel Scum had posted. I don't think it has the Storm, or what, he has the interchangeable gloves, but I don't think it has the other holster / belt. I think it's just this. So I'm just going to flip through a few of these shots here.
Well, that's a little odd.
Yeah. There's that Disney logo. It's on the Black Series packaging too. On the side. Is it on the back? I think it's on the back of the... No, it's not on these. It's on the back of the regular... the new carded figures, the new Black Series blue stripe carded figures. It's on the back of those.
Right.
See, it says it includes Han with extra set of hands, holster, blaster, Greedo figure with holster and blaster. So it doesn't mention... It doesn't say blasters for Han, and it doesn't say...
Yeah.
So, let's see. The next, that kind of wraps up what we've other than what was released today, as far as news regarding the carded sample of the Hoth Luke that Steven had posted on Facebook.
Right.
So that kind of wraps up the site or the Hasbro news for the week. Kind of move on to Sideshow, and they obviously have a ton of stuff that gets announced around Comic-Con. They have like the marathon of releases that kind of for 20 days or whatever that lead up to Comic-Con. The first thing that they announced was the life-size Darth Vader figure that is now for sale or for pre-order. Let me just show that here.
Yep.
This joins the Han and Carbonite one they have and the Boba Fett life-size figures. It's only $8,000. Yeah, I'm sure it's gorgeous. It would be nice to have. There's no reasonable method for me to try to obtain this, but there's a shot of all three of them together, the life-size figures. So there's, what is it, 7,000 for Boba Fett. I can't remember what the Han and Carbonite was. Probably about $6,000.
I think it's close to $7,000.
Yeah, so that's a lot of change there. I think, I don't know, will Steve Sansweet get these?
I don't know. I think at some point he.
Dan froze. Let's see. Dan will try to come back, I'm sure. Let's see. Let's move on to the next piece. Dan said he might have computer problems when we were doing our pre-show discussion, so we'll see if he gets back here. Let's see. Are you back? Trying. I hear you trying.
I think so.
There. I heard you there. Oh. Your video went out. I could still hear your voice. Let's see. We'll move on to the next thing as Dan tries to reconnect. Sideshow also announced the 1/6 scale ARC Troopers, and I think a lot of people have been looking forward to these guys for a long time. I'll show you which ones those are. It's the ARC Trooper versions of both Echo and Fives. For a long time, all Sideshow has released are essentially repaints of the regular clone troopers that they've been churning out for a while now. But now we actually get some cooler versions, I think. As a matter of fact, the phase 1 versions had just come out. I received here the other day. Let's see if I can share my screen back here quick. So this is the 2-pack of Echo and Fives in their regular armor. It's kind of splits open like this. You get a clone on each side. So that's a pretty sweet release by them. But yeah, the ARC Trooper set is going to be probably the more popular release of clones that have come out for a while. Let me see. Let me try to get Dan back here quick. Dan. Curto. Invite. Let's see. Okay. Going on to the next one here. Sideshow also announced the Bomb Squad version of their clone trooper. This is obviously from the Clone Wars series. He was only in two. I think he was only in 2 episodes. Episodes 17 and 18 of season 1. Pretty specialized, considering. I'm surprised they would release a figure like this, but it's a cool figure nonetheless. It's very unique, obviously, with the orange paint job, and it comes with the cool little bombs and a backpack, and obviously the other assortment of accessories that all the clones seem to come with the different feet and the 50,000 optional hands that you can get. Comes with a cool little set of diffusing wire snippers there. Here's a shot of the accessory set. It's a very cool clone, I'll admit, but a surprising release nonetheless. Let's go to the next item, and Sideshow announced their 6th scale C-3PO figure. And this figure was teased back when they first announced the R2-D2 figure, the 6th scale R2-D2. This is probably going to be another expensive figure, I wouldn't doubt, due to obviously the sculpt, because it's going to be an all-new sculpt. It's going to be probably vac metallized, in some way, whether it's by traditional means or some actual metal parts, I don't know. And then it'll probably have electronics. I would guess the eyes would light up, and I would also assume that it's going to have some, dialogue that it can spit out, so we could have an argument with R2 or something. I don't know. Let's see, what else was released? The legendary scale Darth Vader, another Darth Vader figure. This is, if people aren't familiar, the legendary scale are essentially half-scale figures. They're about 40 to 50 inches tall, and they cost probably around, I think they're around $2,000 for the price on those, $2 or $3,000. I can't remember exactly. So I think they've only done one Star Wars figure, and that was a Darth Maul. I could do a quick search here. Legendary. Let's see, legendary scale on Sideshow's site here. So yep, there's Darth Maul. Legendary preview for Vader, and yep, that was it. So I'm not sure how well that line does. I mean, they do have an assortment of figures here. They've got a Doctor Doom and a Wolverine. Mostly Marvel and Star Wars characters, it looks like. So I don't suspect a whole lot of releases in this line, but at $2,000, I think that's probably fine for most collectors. They also announced the 6th scale Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot. This is cool because we haven't received a Luke for a while, other than the Hot Toys version that came out that had it included like the weather vane and the battle damaged head sculpt and whatnot from the duel on Bespin. But this will be their first X-Wing pilot figure, so I think a lot of people are looking forward to that, and it's a nice relief getting a figure like this instead of another clone. So let's see what else here. I think that wraps up the Sideshow news for the week. Gentle Giant had released a bunch of information, starting with their exclusive Macquarie Concept Luke mini bust, limited to 500 pieces. It's available for pre-order now for Premier Guild members. So if you're a Premier Guild member, you don't have to be physically at San Diego Comic-Con to order it or to get it. They'll ship it to you directly from their warehouse, so that's a bonus. Not so much of a bonus. I think it's a $80 price point. I think a lot of those busts are $80 anymore, so there's that. Let's see. The next release was a cool one, a surprising offering from them. R2-KT Maquette. This is kind of a Clone Wars style as far as sculpt goes. This again is $80. It's 1/6 scale, so it's basically in scale with a 12-inch figure. Pre-orders sold out really quickly for it, so it's a popular piece, and a portion of the sales from this figure, it's limited to 500. A portion of the sales went to the San Diego Make-A-Wish Foundation. So I did pre-order this one. I thought that was a great cause and a good figure to pick up. And I have the Hasbro version of the official R2-KT figure, so I figured it'd be nice to display those two together. Let's see, waiting for Dan yet. He's rebooting his computer, and its message says here. What else? Um, Yoda's News had received a advanced product for both the Snow Bunny and their Yoda Clone Wars statues. They had posted a review via YouTube on their site, so you could check that out. I believe there's a kind of a neat feature between those two figures where obviously both of these figures, they come on their own circular black base. The Yoda can be removed off of his base and placed alongside Padme on her base. I thought that was kind of a neat feature to do. I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, to be honest. I haven't listened to the full review, but it's cool that you could actually display them together instead of having to just butt up their circular bases next to one another. Let's see. Another Sideshow. Let's see. Gentle Giant, moving on. That's it for them this week.
I'm back.
You're back. I just blew through the San Diego stuff for both Sideshow and Gentle Giant. I can go back here quick if you wanted to talk about any of those things. A bunch of stuff they announced this week. I'll stop sharing my screen. They announced the Vader, like we talked about, the 6 scale ARC Troopers of both Echo and Fives. I thought that was a cool release. You know, typically they've done just so many straight just repaints of clones. Now we're actually getting some with specialized, you know, helmets and, you know, accessories. So I thought that was a cool announcement from them. You know, I also just mentioned that they had just come out with their regular Echo and Fives.
Right.
I just received that yesterday. So, let's see. They also announced the Bomb Squad Clone Trooper. I don't know if you remember that from the first
orange one.
Yeah, the orange one that has the cool deco and little bomb accessories and little wire clippers.
It's funny because they made and Hasbro made that figure as a galactic hero, and they didn't make it as a regular Clone Wars action figure, and people were upset because they think, you know, you should make it as an action figure before you make it into anything else.
Right, but they did make it as an action figure.
They did eventually, yes.
Oh, right. Yeah, it came in a 3-pack with a couple other clones, non-related clones.
Yep.
Let's see, they announced their 6-scale C-3PO, which is going to be a very popular one, considering they have their R2-D2.
Absolutely.
The legendary scale Darth Vader they announced, which is the basically half-scale figure for $2,000.
Well, it's better than $8,000.
It's better. And then another cool one was the Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot, which they haven't done an X-Wing Rebel pilot before.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird because that seems to be like you know, one of the original outfits that I'm surprised, but at the same time, I know initially Sideshow was focusing on characters that wore cloth outfits. So anything that has some kind of metal or armor or something like that, they kind of put off initially.
Right.
But now they figured it out, so now they're getting into the more detailed costumes.
Yeah, because like I think one of the most impressive cloth outfit figures that have come out recently was the Bosk. I don't know if you ever saw that figure up close or.
I did not.
That's like one of their top achievements. I think it's just has so many straps and buckles, and you know, it's tailored just like.
I remember talking to them at I want to say it was probably the last year they went to Toy Fair, and they were still doing the cloth, and they were talking about getting into some characters that had armor, and I said, I really want to see you guys tackle Dengar. And he looked at me like, that's not the popular. I said, no, he's not, but he would be a very interesting figure for you guys to work on.
Yep.
I think we're still waiting for him, right?
Yep. No Dengar. I think we have all the other ones though.
Zuckuss?
Zuckuss.
Not sure. No. I know we had 4 LOM, IG-88, I think, has come out. Boba Fett, obviously.
Yeah.
Bosk, you just mentioned. So yeah, they're getting there.
Yeah.
They're getting there.
I think one left. And then that wrapped up the Sideshow news. Then we moved on Gentle Giant. They announced the Macquarie Luke mini bust, which is cool. That goes alongside the Vader one that came out a few years ago. So that'll be a nice display. They announced the R2KT maquette, which I thought was a
Right. And
unique
that's
and
Clone Wars style
yep,
R2.
yep,
Astromech, I guess.
yep. I
So
picked that
that's
one
cool.
up. And that I mentioned that Yoda's News had done a advanced review of the Snow Bunny Padme with the Yoda Clone Wars statues.
Right, right. Again, carryover from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars micro series.
Right.
Snow Bunny Padme. That was the only time she ever appeared in that outfit, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That wasn't the Clone Wars series
Right.
costume.
Yep.
Cool that they're still doing those.
Yeah. Yeah. That I ordered the Yoda one, but I didn't go for the set. You know, the Padme and Yoda set.
Right, right.
That kind of moves on then to Lego news for this week. Let me share this here. The
Rebels.
Wall Street Journal, of all places, shared that Lego is going to have an exclusive version of the Ghost available for purchase. There's going to be 250 available each day, and then for $40, it's basically like one of the new microfighter scale vehicles, but it obviously also comes with the chopper.
I bought my first Lego set. Like literally, I'm not a Lego collector.
Yep.
But when I saw the Lego Microfighter Millennium Falcon, I had to have that. And as soon as that came in the stores, I was able to get one, and I quite enjoy it. It's on my desk at work.
Yep, I've got it right up above here on my shelf. And I'm not like I think I mentioned on previous shows, I'm not a Lego set collector. I like collecting the minifigures or even just the poly bags of vehicles.
Right.
So, yeah, this is a cool one. It's, obviously it's an exclusive. It's going for $40 when the regular microfighter line is $10. I've seen these anywhere from $150 to I think $180 on eBay right now.
Oh wow!
So,
and this will be the first. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this will be the first Lego set from Rebels, because we know that there's a bigger set coming, and in fact, I think they've already hit the UK.
They've hit in the US too. They've hit Disney stores, or like the Disney at Disney parks, and they've also started to hit the actual Lego stores.
Oh wow!
So, and that's not just the Rebel sets. The rest of the 2014 mainline sets have come out as well.
Okay.
So like the AT-AT and the Cantina is out. So all of that stuff.
All the cool stuff we saw at Toy Fair is finally hitting.
Right. Let's see.
Just in time for new reveals at Comic-Con.
Right. Let's see. Let me turn this off again quick. Next thing on the list is... I'm going to skip those two, blah, blah. Some other collectibles, they don't really fit into a category. EFX Collectibles had put up pre-orders for the Biker Scout helmet. I don't know if you had seen that. Let me share this here quick.
That's cool.
There we go.
Now, it's funny. This is a company that I haven't been following very closely, but it seemed like that they've announced a lot of stuff that took forever for it to come out.
Yeah.
Like years.
Yeah. They've done everything from, helmets to vehicles to weapons. So they kind of do a little bit of everything. It's just their releases are just really spaced out as far as from one another. And
right. This is one of the companies that picked up the Master Replicas license.
Right. And so this is what they're calling the Legend version, where they did have a non-Legend version that wasn't weathered. It was just a plain white version of the Scout Trooper helmet. This one is weathered, and it comes with the pistol, the signature Scout Trooper blaster, and that's for $900. So.
Cool. I'm sure my friend Justin will be eager to add this to his collection because he's a huge Biker Scout fan.
Yeah. Yep, he is. Let's see. Let me go here. Bunch of Hot Wheels have been trickling out as far as announcements from them. This, the past couple weeks. They've been doing pretty much two a week since their announcement of the Vader car. They started off with the R2-D2 car. I don't know what you think of this whole Hot Wheels line.
I'm looking forward to them because they're relatively inexpensive, and I was a big... I didn't collect all of them, but I really liked the Disney racers that they had done at the theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up a few of those over the years, and these seem to be in that same kind of style, but also completely their own thing.
Right.
And, I like how they're true to the characters, yet they actually look like cars.
Right.
It's kind of cool. Here,
so,
that one is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously that these are renderings. These aren't the official,
right.
Hard copy of the cars yet. So it'll be interesting to see these at retail and be able to judge. I mean, they're going to be on display at Comic-Con.
And there's a C-3PO one that has not been teased in this format, but I remember, I think it was Jedi Temple Archives had a picture of it, of the two cars together. So that's kind of cool.
Yep.
I like here, Chewbacca. It's like a big truck.
Yep.
That's
it's like a big military truck, and it's got like his bowcaster in the back as part of the what would be the tailgate, and there's a Millennium Falcon in the bed of the truck, and it's just got it's like his bandolier kind of deal around the sides. And I think this one was the most decisive one between the people that have been reacting to these. It's like, that doesn't look anything like Chewbacca, or I think this one is. People weren't thrilled with the design of this one for some reason. But I like them all so far. And then today they revealed the Luke Skywalker car, which is the most car of them all. I mean, this is pretty much, it looks like a Nissan 300 or something.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can give you a sneak peek teaser that Jedi News will have an exclusive vehicle announced on their website prior to Comic-Con. I don't know what it is.
Is that Teresa's doing?
No.
No?
Nope.
She's been exchanging Twitter messages with the Hot Wheels guys. I've been following along. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's getting. I think she's working on getting a bunch of the cars to review. So.
Yep, that's in the works.
Good deal.
Yeah, like I said, I think this is going to be a fun line. I really hope that they do the classic van from the 70s that has the Star Wars artwork on the side. You remember we had a remote control one, I think, or a model, something along those lines. And I actually saw there was a T-shirt yesterday of the old Rat Fink style, which you might recall that Gentle Giant sort of took a stab at with statues a few years ago. Yeah, how cool would that be if Mattel made actual moving vehicles in that kind of Star Wars mashup with the old Rat Fink stuff? I would love it.
Let's see.
Personally, I would love it.
Yeah, I'm liking all these cars so far. I mean, I think they're going to be about $5 each.
Yeah, except for the Darth Vader one, but that's mostly packaging.
Right, and the Darth Vader one will be available at regular retail too, if you don't want to go for the San Diego version. So
right, I agree.
Let's see what else. Another small little thing that I noticed the other day, the Wampa plush figure. We didn't get to see this when we were out west when we were in California. This is awesome. I wish I would.
I have not seen this yet.
Yeah. So this is available now at.
Might have to use my gift card on this.
In stores or online for $20. I mean, goes perfectly with the Tauntaun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think you could tear his arm off, but
Maybe
maybe
it's Velcroed on.
that'd be cool. It'd be an easy mod to do if you wanted to have that option.
Right.
Let's see. On to the next one here. Hallmark. Obviously, they have their ornaments that are a pain to track down every convention season.
Oh yes.
But now they have 2 exclusive itty bitties characters that are going to debut. The regular itty bitties line, if people don't know what they are, they're little stuffed characters. They're probably about a couple inches tall, if that. They're not supposed to hit stores until September, so these are going to be officially the first ones that come out, and I'm going to have to find some way to get these, I think, because I want the regular itty bitties figures, because there's like a box set of 4, and there's some other exclusive ones that are coming out later. So yeah, probably not for everyone.
Hallmark always has some kind of exclusives that are a challenge to track down.
Yeah. Let's see. Hallmark also showed off that they're going to have a exclusive one that comes out in October, which is one of those peak busters that they call. It has lights and sound, or not lights, but it has sounds warning you not to peek at your presence or something like that. It's motion activated. They've had others in the past. I think they've had a Vader. I don't remember what the other ones have been, but I'll probably get that since I collect the ornaments and I have a Yoda focus collection. So
okay. Now, do you have a Yoda and Santa outfit focus?
No, but I have most of the Yoda things that have been wearing, Santa outfits. I have most of those collectibles, I think. There's been a lot, surprisingly. There's Hasbro figure, Sideshow figure, Gentle Giant.
Giant just do one recently?
Yeah, they just had one of the vintage versions
with
of that.
with a small, little, tiny Boba Fett.
Oh, I know. I haven't brought myself to open mine yet to see what it looks like in hand, but that was one of the coolest reveals I think that has come out in a long time from them. I mean, that's totally unexpected. Let's see what else. Let's see, going back here. That kind of wraps up the regular collectible news this week. Space trees. These are customs that 12th Parsec had released. It was kind of a I don't want to say Kickstarter, but it was one of those crowdsourced kind of deals.
Yep.
And people have started to receive their orders that they had placed, and it's a pretty impressive set, to be honest. They're modular. You could stack them as high as you want. You could hook them together. It's pretty intense, I think. It's
I like the little bridges and the little
railings and
stuff. Yeah.
It's got like little torches with fire and.
So you'd never see Hasbro do something like this.
Not anymore.
Nope.
Yep. So you could chain a bunch of these together and stack them as high as you want to, and it's a pretty neat release. So I'm impressed with that. Let's see. That kind of moves on from customizing. There were some casting announcements regarding the movie and also Star Wars Rebels that have come out since our last show. In regards to Episode 7, there was these 2 actors, blanking on their names at the moment, Crystal Clark.
Pip Anderson.
Pip Anderson, yep.
No idea who they are.
Nope, never heard of them, but apparently Pip Anderson is a parkour practitioner, and if you don't know what that is, it's free runner. They jump and from buildings, and kind of dive and leap and scale lands, through the landscape. So,
Right.
and apparently there's some other person that hasn't officially been announced yet. I can't think of what her name is. Did you see that announcement?
Chung, right?
Yeah, and she does parkour as well.
Okay.
So apparently there's going to be a lot of running and jumping over things in the movie if they're looking for that kind of talent.
Yeah. Anyone that's physically fit and able to do a lot of stunts probably
right.
can
do their own stunts. Let's see. Then we get into the Rebels casting and voice over type of announcements. Agent Callus started the week. I call him Agent Wolverine because of his facial hair.
That's pretty funny.
It's a pretty cool character.
Wolverine is being killed in the Marvel comics, so we resurface here in Rebels.
Right. Always killing somebody or changing their gender.
Right.
Let's see what else. The Star Wars 2014 sampler came out via Amazon, where you could download a sample of 4 different books that are coming out in 2014. One of them is a tie-in to Rebels. It's like a prequel novel. It's called A New Dawn. I read that one. That one was pretty decent. I liked it.
Any spoilers or?
They reveal some characters that, by paging through my visual guide, there's some of those characters are mentioned.
Okay.
I won't get too spoilery here, but there is a direct tie to the series with that novel, obviously. Nice. There's the book Tarkin, which kind of gives they did like the Darth Sidious book.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of similar to that, by James Luceno. Lords of the Sith by Paul S. Kemp, which is takes place in between episode 3 and 4. I'm not sure if it takes place after Rebels or before, though.
Right. I don't know.
I haven't read that one yet. And there's another one here I'm missing. Oh, Heir to the Jedi, which is like a first-person story from Luke's point of view, which takes place between episode 4 and 5, I believe.
Yep.
So, have you downloaded this yet?
I have not, but I think I'm going to have to give it a shot.
Yeah. From what I've read so far, it's pretty interesting. I like the Tarkin book is pretty good.
I think that one I'm most interested in because I've always liked that character. So
yeah,
should be interesting. I mean, he was like the guy that had Vader by the reins. You know, he's the one who was in charge as far as we knew back in the day. I mean, Vader obviously was forced to be reckoned with, pun intended. But right. Tarkin's the one who told him what to do.
Yep.
We didn't know about the Emperor initially.
No, just in reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, another thing that was revealed or announced anyway by Marvel and I guess Disney and Lucasfilm was the original Marvel Years Omnibus, which is which I didn't realize. I thought I was getting, or I thought people were getting the entire run of the Marvel's comics.
All 107 issues.
Plus they eventually will, but that's not what's in this first book.
Really?
Right. If you go down and if you scroll down underneath the image and look, it says it's this is essentially volume 1, and it has issues 1 through 44 in it.
Okay.
And annual number 1.
So that'll take you, I believe, up to The Empire Strikes Back. And that's interesting because the Marvel omnibuses are usually in black and white. So this I don't know if this says that this is in full color or not, but if it is not, this is the first time that the Star Wars books has been presented in black and white.
Yeah, I think this is. I think this will be in color.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I remember Dark Horse did a series of trade paperbacks called A Long Time Ago, and
Hmm.
I have all of those. I have all of the original comic books back from when I was a kid, too. So if I ever want to reread them, I would go back to the trades because I don't want to mess up those original books. But
Right.
this one's kind of interesting. This is the first offering from Marvel. Obviously there'll be more.
Yep.
But
Down here at the bottom.
now that they've taken it off, or they've taken over the brand,
Hmm.
be cool.
So it's 880 pages, and it's $125 for the hard. I assume this is a hardcover version, and there are two versions available. There's a a direct market version, and then there's an exclusive type of general release version. And then they both say that it's volume 1, so that would lead me to believe that there's going to be a volume 2 and beyond. So we'll see how that goes.
And that's, I believe, a new cover by Howard Chaykin. So
yep. There was announced. I saw this on Amazon as well. There's the next book in the series of Star Wars art books. This one is called Posters. So this one will have a nice assemblage of all the different posters that have come out in regards to Star Wars. There was a similar book that came out a while ago. I don't remember exactly when, that had a lot of the posters in it as well.
Yep.
I don't know if Steve Sansweet had something to do with that one.
I think that was Steve and cannot remember his name, but one of the other former Lucasfilm employees. They did that book together because I remember talking to them about it before the book came out.
Mm-hmm. So I'll probably pick. I have some of the other books in the Star Wars art series. There's there's one called Visions, and then there's one called Concept. That was the most recent one that had come out. So I'll probably get this one as well. I'm always a sucker for these kind of
poster books
and just general art books. Whether it's the making of or just
remember
anything
the
that's
Macquarie books. Those are amazing.
I know. Yeah. Let's see. I think that kind of wraps up all of the news that had come out since our last show. There was a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be even in the 5 days before Comic-Con starts, there's going to be a few more things that leak out. But that was a good slug of releases and whatnot.
I mean, like I said in the beginning of the show, this is the time of year where a lot of excitement is amongst the fans, amongst the press, amongst everybody, kind of waiting to see what's going to come out of Comic-Con. I remember being at Comic-Con a couple times, and I ran into a friend of mine who was a writer for DC Comics, and he said to me, he goes, "Dan, I got to be honest, I cannot wait to go home from Comic-Con, get online, and find out what happened at Comic-Con."
Right.
It is so insane with the amount of people and the amount of activity that goes on. You can't possibly keep up with it all.
Yeah. That's always been kind of my deal too, is like I've always kind of wanted to go, but I'm always kind of glad I didn't, because I could find out a heck of a lot more by sitting at home and watching what happens versus being on site. And there's just too much you want to see and you can't see because you're either going to spend in time waiting for something you want to buy, or trying to find some place to eat that doesn't cost a fortune or whatever. It's always
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but whenever I go to conventions, I don't really eat much during the day.
I know.
Never
you forget about eating.
There's no time.
Yeah. So, that kind of wraps things up. Typically, with the end of our shows, we kind of go over, some of our most recent purchases and acquisitions since our last meeting. So, for me, I've been getting rid of some things actually. I've been purging some of my Sideshow figures and Hot Toys stuff that I have for space reasons, and just rather have those funds available for other things.
Right.
I picked up the, let's see, where is it? The Star Wars Rebels visual guide. I got that. It's a nice hardcover book, 130 pages or so.
Nice.
Lots of cool imagery and spoilery. Not so much spoilery stuff. I was surprised. Nothing that would spoil the season by any means, but just a lot of cool artwork. I know you said that Corey had done a review of it.
Yes.
But yeah, I just love books like this that give you specifics on vehicles and whatnot. There you have the.
Oh.
It's so awesome, and
I'm looking forward to that coming out in the future, hopefully at some point from Hasbro.
Yeah, they got a whole spread devoted to it. There's a cool shot of one of the pilots on a.
That's
cool new speeder bike.
Now this dude's coming out as an action figure.
Right.
Yeah, I remember back in I guess May, I had posted a photo that someone had sent to me of a poster of all things sitting in a window somewhere in California.
Yep.
That revealed a lot of stuff, and including that character.
It had 30 figures on it.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi that we didn't know. Turns out he's going to be a hologram in the premiere of Rebels, so that's kind of cool.
Yep. Let's see. I can see if I can pull that up quick. Maybe not. Let's see. Let's see, what else did I got the Hallmark Scout Trooper that just had come out. And then I mentioned I got the Echo and Fives 12-inch figures from Sideshow.
Nice.
I don't know if you've seen those. Comes in
those are cool.
nice thick box. It's got both of them in there. Opens up like that. So
now, do you open them or do you keep them boxed?
It depends on what they are. Like a lot of them I keep boxed. If it's an original trilogy character, I open them and display them. Right. But like I said, I've been purging a lot of Sideshow stuff lately, so.
Purging, that's a good word. There's a lot of that going around the old Curto household as well this year.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels good to get rid of some of the stuff.
I have had boxes of empty boxes and card backs that I honestly can't figure out why do I need these?
I know.
And I've been recycling them, and a few weeks back, I think it was back in May, I took all of my Star Wars cards from the past, 15 years or so, and I burned them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just got stacks of these around.
I did keep some of them, like 30th anniversary collection, vintage collection, saga collection, card backs that I liked. But all those Episode 1 cards and the Revenge of the Sith cards, I didn't really care for those designs. So, into the fire.
Yeah, I might have to do a YouTube video of me doing that or something. I don't know, just to document a huge, backfire or a huge bonfire of Star Wars cardboard, that I will never look at again.
I posted it on Facebook, and everybody was mad at me.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm a big fan of the fire with the s'mores and the sticks.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff. And summertime is the good time to do all that. And every time I post a picture on Facebook, there's always someone that says, "Oh, is there a Darth Vader action figure in that?" I'm like, "No, there is not." But now I might do that.
So I think that was it for me. What did you have any good?
Well, I mean, in recent days, I've picked up I know you're a Marvel fan. I got a Rocket Raccoon Marvel Legends figure because from the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy.
Can't wait.
He comes with whatever the hell this thing is. I'm not sure. It's a big weapon of some sort. And then he comes with the head and chest of Groot, which is the Build-A-Figure in the wave. So that's kind of.
It's one of the best Build-A-Figures.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
I'm really looking forward to this movie because I think this is like the perfect crossover between superheroes and Star Wars movies. And I'm a big fan of Guardians, but I was mostly thinking the classic team. But even this team is still pretty cool. And I think the movie's great. I saw a 17-minute IMAX preview 2 weeks ago. Yep, went to see that. Looked great, phenomenal in 3D. Well, in a couple weeks we'll see it, and it'll be mind-blowing, I think. Some early reviews have come in, and a lot of people are really excited about this film.
Yeah, I knew absolutely nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy before the announcement, and I'm totally in. I'm totally sold on whatever they're trying to do here. So
yeah. Well, plus it ties into Avengers and Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, all that.
Right.
And you know, how does it tie in? I'm a big Marvel fan, so I'm looking forward to that. For Star Wars acquisitions recently, hasn't really been a lot. I'm mostly a Hasbro collector, but I haven't been collecting Hasbro lately because there's nothing to collect. Although I did, about a week or so ago, I got we were talking about Master Replicas earlier, the lightsabers. I got the Force FX Darth Maul lightsaber with removable blades, and 2 of them so you can connect them to make the entire weapon.
Cool.
And I was, just before we started recording this show, I was putting that together, so that's actually in the other room, and I'm really looking forward to that because what some folks may or may not know is that I study martial arts, and I'm practicing with the bow staff right now, which happens to be red. So in my mind, I'm always making the lightsaber sound when I'm flipping that stick around. And I told my instructor, I said, next week I'm bringing that lightsaber into class because I want to play with it. And he goes, do it!
That'll be awesome. You have to record that now.
There might be a video coming. As soon as I learn the kata, then I will perform it with the lightsaber.
So, let's see. I think that would be it then, sir.
Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I hate to
no worries. It happens. I think we had a show towards the beginning that we lost video for a portion and had to re-upload it. So.
Well, the magic of editing will fix all that.
That's right. So, I'd like to thank you for coming on, and I'd like to thank everyone that watched and commented. I received a few notifications that some folks had made some comments on the video as it was live, so I'll have to go back and respond. I'm sure it was Kenny.
Kenny! Hey, happy birthday, Kenny!
Yep, his birthday was a couple days ago. Or was it yesterday? I can't remember which.
I think it was yesterday. Yep.
So,
yep.
That would be it. So
until next weekend, dude.
Next weekend, we are going to be on a podcast together, the Boring Conversation Anyway. And we're going to talk about, obviously, San Diego Comic-Con stuff. So we'll be on there with...
I think the Wolfpack is planning having a huge show with a lot of guests. Same exact topic.
Yep. So we'll be hashing out all the announcements and, disappointments. I'm sure there will be a couple, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, no matter what Hasbro goes, somebody's going to complain about it. That's usually the way.
That's
right. Because preview night is pretty much, what has Hasbro got?
Yep.
The rest of the night is sort of like, okay, yeah, well, we'll check out Gentle Giant and Sideshow and everything, but it's always the focus is on what Hasbro has.
Yep.
And I have a feeling, other than the stuff that we talked about today, I don't think it's going to be a huge reveal, despite what they said. Because remember, Friday is Star Wars Day, so a lot of stuff will be held back.
Right.
So Wednesday night, I mean, hey, I don't know about you, I'm not going to San Diego, but I'll be glued to my computer and I'll be watching whoever is posting up stories. I know Rich a lot is going to be there I think he's covering for Jedi Temple Archives, Pop Critica, and whatever other site he's a part of. I think Yoda's News is going to be there. Star Wars Action News, of course, is going to be there.
Yep.
Every time they got something up, we're going to promote it, plug it, whatever, post it on Jedi News, post it on Sand Troopers, whatever other site I can get a hold of,
Right. Yeah, it'll be...
come on the podcast, talk about all the reveals, our analysis of it. It's a fun time.
Yep. Looking forward to it. So until then, we will see all of you next time. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks
Thank
again.
you.